Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Field of 68's last call.
What's your go-to Applebee's order?
I don't go to Applebee's. We actually call it Crapplebee's, to be honest.
Who's the better team right now, Creighton, Marquette, or UConn?
Con.
What are you doing? What is that? Pray for fans. Oh, come on, Zach. Here we go. It's last call.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thursday evening edition of Last Call here on Stadium. My name is Rob Dosser. I got Chris Mack right here. I got Matt McCall right there. I got Jeff Goodman right over there. We are the Field of 68, and this is Last Call. We are live from Boca Raton at Eleanor R. Baldwin Arena. I got it that time. That was perfect. You guys can't even say anything about it. Last call here, because I gotta remember. I keep wanting to say Eleanor R. Brown.
Yeah, write it down.
Because it's better to go like this to point to it, because everyone knows that we're here. I'm
not even going to ask you who gave the money for the scoreboard over here.
I haven't even smacked the
Shapiro family.
Listen, this is Last Call. What we are doing here is a Q&A. We are answering your questions, so jump in the chat. Fire some questions at us. We're going to answer anything that doesn't get us canceled, and I might even ask Goodman a question that gets him canceled, see if I can get him off the show a little bit. He's driving me crazy. All right, so before we do, I want to start with this. Goodman, Field of 68 tip-off. It was the first game of the first ever edition. I said inaugural about 27 times. I'm over that word. I don't want to say it anymore. But it was the first ever edition of the Field of 68 tip-off. How did this come about, and what are we trying to do here?
I mean, it was all me. No.
This is pretty.
No,
we just saw all of the teamwork and FAU. Everybody was happy for each other. Janelle Davis, no field goals, celebrating everything. Goodman's like,
listen,
me.
Richie McKay,
I did this.
Dusty, May, and Pat Kelsey came together and decided that, hey, you know what? It's hard for us to get games against high majors. We're going to kind of take care of each other. We understand what we all go through. So instead, we're going to come together, put something together. They called us. We were lucky to be a part of this and come down here and be able to watch this game, the first game, and we get two more of these. But to me, again, three great mid-major programs that are going to be playing each other in a round robin each of the next 2 years in addition to this. So we got game one tonight. Tonight, what are we at? Midnight already. Yeah. So we got another game tonight with Liberty and Charleston.
Game two is technically tonight.
Liberty, Charleston. And then next year, we'll go to our city. Charleston, my city, Charleston, and then we'll go to Liberty in year 3, and I might even let you come to my city. I'm not sure.
No, we're just going to send McCall down there. Like, I don't want to deal with
it's
you.
Fine.
Charleston.
McCall can get Halls.
You're bad enough as it is.
Get Halls, shrimp and grits.
Yeah, like I mean, it's his
shrimp and
city.
That's what Charleston's
do
basketball.
Right now, it's cold there. It's not cold. We're all in short
cold.
sleeves. Okay,
It's,
I mean,
it's nice
he won't
out
call it as our city. Like, what's wrong with this city?
We walked down the beach earlier, producer Dagan and I, and like I was sweating walking down the beach, and all I wanted to do was just lay out a towel, take a cooler, some.
Don't take off your shirt, please.
I was well. How else am I gonna go swimming? What am I gonna do? I gotta work on my tan, right? I need the nice base layer for when summer gets here. Right. So listen.
Did you say you and Dagan took a walk on the beach?
No.
It's been fun.
All right.
Hand in hand.
Just wait. Now wait.
You'll get your Christmas cards.
Now just wait.
Take me off the text chat, please.
All right. So let's
Mic drop.
just wait till you see what tomorrow's featured content is going to be for Florida Atlantic.
Yeah,
so he's over there cracking jokes right now. Just wait. All right. Let's get into some of these chat questions. Make sure you're jumping in the YouTube chat. We're going to answer all the questions that you fire at us. This is for specifically Mac and McCall, and it's from Mr. B, who said, I don't want Jeff Goodman to talk on this question. Is Vlad Golden an NBA player?
I think it's he's a really, really good college player, for one. Does his game translate to the NBA? Can he impact – can he guard pick and rolls at that level? We know he can rebound. We know he can block shots. Floor spacing, can he move his feet? He'll get a chance. He'll get a chance. He'll get a chance.
The game has changed so much at the NBA level. It's like two different two different games. In college basketball, NBA basketball, very rarely do you see, 7-footers playing with their back to the basket anymore. It's those guys, their ability to be able to guard on the perimeter in ball screen situations, however they're playing them, generally in drop, coverage. And they're not necessarily outside of like Jokic and a couple other guys. They're not necessarily going to those guys in the post. Yeah. And even when you think about a guy like Jokic, right, he's dribbling the ball up the floor. He's initiating the offense. I mean, he's making, he's a playmaker. And, no disrespect to Golden, but he's not a playmaker. I mean, he struggles a little bit when he gets doubled, making just simple passes. And he's going to continue to get better. And he's going to make a lot of money, playing the games as long as he stays healthy. But it's very.
He's got that European passport, which is going to be
it's just very
valuable.
Different, in terms of like what the NBA is after. Do I think he could make a roster? Absolutely. He's a great kid. He's got good size, and he continues to get better. But it's a different game now.
Well, think about this too. Look at the best front court players in the country, and I think you got to put him.
right there.
You got to put him in the category. Dickinson, Armando Bacot. No, those guys are all still in college. Klingler. There's a reason. Zach Edey. There's a reason because their game translates more to college. NIL helps. They're all getting paid. But it translates more to the college game, and he's the same. They're all the best college front court players in the country. They really are. Does their game translate? They're all going to get an opportunity. They'll all be on a summer league team. They'll all be, two-way, whatever it may be. But that's the comparison. These other guys that are coming back, there's a reason they're coming back.
And in fairness, to him, he doesn't have to show that he has the ability to shoot the ball from the perimeter. I mean, if he can do that, then I think his chances increase greatly. But he's got guys in his team right now that are stroking the basketball from three. That's not his role on this team. And like all the other guys, he accepts it, just like the other guys do. He accepts his role, and he does it really well.
All right, Goodman, we're going to you on this one.
I'm allowed to talk now?
From James. Yeah, whenever we don't have to actually talk about, like, basketball, X's and O's, breaking stuff down.
I didn't talk that.
You better be careful. I'm going to show the video of the
There's no video.
Jump shot.
He loves the no-look passes.
The camera's right over there. It's going. All right. How far does FAU need to go in the tournament this year
to get the monkey off Dusty's back that you put on it?
That was unbelievable.
to not be a disappointment?
How far do they have to go to not be a disappointment? All they have to do is get to the NCAA tournament, in my opinion, for it not to be a disappointment. Really. I know that may sound ridiculous, but with what they did last year, nobody's going to look at it as a disappointment, even if they lose in the first round. I don't think so. I really don't. I know they should go further based on what we saw tonight and their talent and their experience and all that. But if they lose in the first round, you think anybody's going to be like, man, they sucked. Like, they were nobody's going to say that. Again, I would hope they would go to the second weekend. I think certainly that's the area where you'd say to yourself, like, okay, you know what? If they lose before that, they're going to be disappointed. I mean, they're probably going to be disappointed if they don't win the whole thing.
You know what's funny about that? He says, nobody is going to say they're a disappointment if you do this. He is the guy that would be the one that says, oh, FAU is such a disappointment they lost in the first round.
I don't think so.
You know who'd be disappointed? Those guys right there.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah. I'm not saying that. But looking at it in its totality of what they would have accomplished. Absolutely. If they get to the tournament again from the AAC this year, and again, they got to stay healthy. Right, there's a lot of things that still have to go right for this team.
Here's a great follow-up to that. I'm going to go to you on this one, McCall. How many teams have a better 1 through 10 than FAU right now?
Nobody.
Is there anyone that's as deep as that?
That deep.
Nobody.
1 through 10? The depth.
I mean, you may be right, depth. But how crazy is it to say that?
Think about that. The depth.
I mean, seriously.
I mean, they got
you're talking about no NIL, really. I mean, like minimal NIL.
I mean, Brennan Laurent. No, he's from my hometown of Ocala, Florida, so I got to give him a shout out.
You're not objective.
He comes off the bench, number 0. He's a sophomore. He looks like he could play it.
You told me they got a kid redshirting.
Two guys redshirting right now. I mean, like Trey Carroll, it's hard for him to get in the game because of what Golden and Rosado are doing, and he goes in and he's offensively as gifted as anybody. I mean, it's just
he checked in with about 3 minutes left, and McCall, give me one of these. Watch what this kid's about to do. He scored like 3 straight baskets. Real quick, you got about 10 seconds on this. Where would you rank their backcourt nationally? How high? Top 5? Top 10?
I mean, John
As
L.
good as
Davis,
anybody?
Elijah Martin, Greenlee, it's got to be top 10 in the country, easily.
Yeah, I think
Top
I would
five.
agree.
Top
they're
five,
they're
easily.
already that good of a team. Their two best players are on the wings. That makes a lot of
Oxford in
sense.
the
Listen,
Kentucky top 20.
when we come back, I'm going to ask these guys about the National Player of the Year race. Welcome back to Last Call here on Stadium. Rob Doster, Chris Mack, Coach Matt McCall, Jeff Goodman.
Eleanor R. Baldwin Arena.
There you go. You got it for me.
at
You want to
that.
host it? Take over. Take over
Beat
for
him
me.
to
You got
it.
this thing covered. We are the Field of
Fresh paint
68.
here.
We are
Fresh
live here from FAU, the inaugural night of the inaugural year of the Field of 68 tip-off. We're going to be doing this thing for 3 years. Next year is going to be, I'm not saying it, it's going to be in Charleston. I'm not saying it. No, don't do it. I've had enough of it. And in 2025, we are going to Lynchburg, where that is where Liberty is located. All right, next question for you guys. McCall, we're going to you first on this one. Is this the real name? The real name from the chat is Jeff Goodblum. Does Zach Edey win National Player of the Year again?
I mean, it's hard to argue against them right now. I mean, what they're doing is best team in the country. What he's doing, it's hard to argue against him. I don't know who you could put ahead of him at this point in the season. Still early, a lot of basketball left to be played, but I think it's hard to pick against him right now.
Yeah, I think if he stays healthy, Purdue's going to win the Big Ten by 3 or 4 games, and he's going to be a big reason why. 20-10, whatever he's getting, he just changes the game. There's nothing you can do unless you double him, and he's a good passer. He's seen double teams all year, his whole career. He's the Player of the Year. I don't think it's going to be close.
I mean, he's the guy, like they're saying. I think like Hunter Dickinson has an outside chance, right? If Kansas somehow rolls through the Big 12 because of what Hunter has around him, which isn't as much. And then I think like Tyler Kolek, if somehow Marquette was to roll through the Big East, you can make a case because he's the best point guard in the country overall. But, yeah, it's probably going to take Zach Edey, hopefully it doesn't happen, missing some time in order for one of those guys
and like
to
you
win
said,
it.
Kansas is going to have to roll through the Big 12, which they've done before.
Yeah.
And who else? I'm sorry.
Marquette.
Yeah, Marquette's going to have to roll through the Big East,
Yep.
but like I think Purdue
And
is
win
going
it.
to. Purdue is going to roll through the Big
Agreed.
Ten. That's
but
the
if,
problem.
if somehow like Marquette, it would
Yeah.
be more surprising, and I think there could be a little like voter fatigue of like, hey, we kind of want to vote for somebody different. I don't know.
Well, the problem is he's doing the exact same stuff on a team that is exactly as good as they were last year, whereas Oscar Tshiebwe, reigning Player of the Year, comes back again, was on a team that ended up being a 6 seed
Right.
where he wasn't putting up didn't have the same kind of impact. Zach Edey's impact is even more right now. He's gotten better. He keeps improving. He's better defensively. I can't see.
No.
I can't see it being anybody
And just
else.
when he talks to the media too, like listen to what
He's
he's
the
saying.
super impressive.
man.
He deflects.
Yeah,
He talks about
yeah.
his teammates.
Yeah.
He talks about when I was a freshman. Coming off the bench, but these guys, they're young. He is unbelievable.
So what he does, I don't know if I've told you guys this. What he does after every game, or what he did last year after every game, is he would go around the entire lower bowl of Mackey and sign an autograph for every single kid and every single fan that was waiting. And he got to so many people that nobody doesn't have a Zach Edey autograph at this point. No one waits for him after games anymore. He got to everybody last year. He was after when we were there for the Xavier game, and he went out there and he was just looking for people to sign autographs for, and he already got everybody. He was gone.
Part of the thing was we didn't start our show. He sat down and we didn't start our show for about 20 minutes later, and it was late, and he just sat there and waited and never wavered, just kind of sat there and BS with us. Like, that's the type of kid he is. He's
We
humble.
talked about
He's
it
grounded.
before, you
Yeah.
talk about Elijah Martin. Didn't have all the accolades coming out. Zach was the same way. I mean,
That's
he
right.
barely was noticeable at IMG.
Yep.
I think he played on their second team.
All right, I got another question about a team from Indiana for you. They just beat Texas Tech tonight in overtime. Goodman, can Butler make the NCAA tournament?
I think the jury's still out on that one. I don't think we've seen enough yet from Butler to be able to say. The one thing that I worry about is obviously the league that Butler is in this year. No, they don't have to worry about Seton Hall. Again, other than DePaul, who are you looking at and being like, all right, this is an easy one?
Georgetown.
Georgetown. Good point. Good point.
I don't
Thank
even
you,
know if you're
Georgetown.
looking at that
Georgetown.
one as an easy one. I mean, I don't know.
Easy-ish.
Yeah.
Easy-ish. I'm just saying, like, that
Certainly
league.
easier than going to Marquette.
Yeah, I mean, the top of the league is really difficult. St. John's is only going to get better. I think Xavier's only going to get better, as Sean
Here's
kinda
my
figures.
counterpoint. This is now a team that has consecutive wins over Penn State, Boise State, and Texas Tech. Two of those were on a neutral court.
Those
They
could all
hung-
be not tournament teams.
I
though,
know, but
at the
they
end of the
hung
day.
with this
FAU.
Florida Atlantic team
Yep.
at the ESPN Events
put up like
Invitational on a
100
neutral
points
court.
tonight.
Yeah, they put up 86 points. They put up 103 tonight. And if you're playing in a good league with a bunch of really good teams, it means you got a lot of chances to get
Right.
good wins.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
it means that all of those losses that you take
But you
are not
probably
gonna be
have
that
to
bad.
finish in the top. What would you say? 6?
I would say there's
Seven, probably
there's
seven.
5 Big East teams that are going to be in the tournament this year. The top 3 plus Providence and Villanova. We can probably just kind of write those in. Those teams.
So if you're like 6,
Can you get
got a
6?
shot. You got a shot.
Can you get there?
Yeah,
Enough?
depend.
No
I mean,
bad
depending
losses
on the
on the resume?
separation of the bottom teams. How bad are the bottom teams? If they're that bad, then I think
Going to come down to Posh Alexander versus St. John's down the stretch for that 6th bid in the Big
right.
East.
So how about this? They actually play on February 28th, the third to last game,
There you go.
when they're playing at home. It really could come down to whether or
Winner
not
gets
Josh
in.
Alexander
Winner's
can
in.
beat
Play-in
St.
game.
John's.
Max already looked at this.
Yeah, that'd be actually hilarious. All right, let's stick in the Big East here. Creighton won tonight. They beat up on Oklahoma State. I don't have the final because it didn't go final till late, but they bounced back from a fairly embarrassing loss to a Colorado State team when they put up 48 points. Mac, what is your take on Creighton?
Well, I mean, Colorado State's got a guard that's out of the world. Isaiah Stevens, like he is
They're really
terrific,
good.
man. He
Yeah.
dominates the game. I don't know if Creighton's guys really knew who they were going up against. Although the score was alarming, the fact they lost wasn't. They still got talent, and Kalkbrenner's is good. He affects the game at the rim on both ends of the floor. I think Creighton will be fine. I don't know if Creighton will be what everybody thought they would be, possibly a top 10 team. I don't think they're there yet. But when you play them, they're going to let it fly from 3. And like I said, they got the 7-footer inside, so they can hang with anybody in the country.
Yeah, fun fact, Ryan Kalkbrenner was actually a sophomore your last year at Xavier, the last year that you were in the Big East. So he's been there for 27 years
Come
now.
on, man.
you were
You
doing
said freshman, maybe.
you were doing that math in your head for a second. You're like, wait, what was he?
Couple
By the way,
COVID years.
Creighton's 4 men, Isaac Trout and Mason Miller, combined for 3 points.
Yeah, that's a problem.
It's going to have to change. That's
What do you do?
The good thing is Ashworth played well tonight, but they got to get something out of their 4 spot.
Yeah. What do you do? What do you do there?
I don't know what you can do. They got to make
I
shots.
I would have Mason watch videos of his dad.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I would have him do.
What you need to do is you need to go to Europe and you need to go find a guy that's looking for a buyout in Europe and just say, hey, you know what, we got the NIL here. That's what it's going to come down to at some point here. Listen, this is last call. We are live on Stadium right now. Jump in the YouTube chat. Ask us some questions. We are the Field of 68. We are here in Boca Raton. We are at FAU at Eleanor R. Baldwin Arena. We're going to be here for about another 8 or 9 minutes on the other side of this break, answering your questions. So jump in the chat, fire away. We'll answer them. Welcome back to Last Call here on Stadium. We are the Field of 68. My name is Rob Doster. That is Coach Chris Mack. That is Coach Matt McCall. That is a guy that's never coached a day in his life, Jeff Goodman. You don't want him coaching. We saw him shooting jumpers out here earlier. Was it pretty?
I'd rather have him coaching than playing.
We are here for about another 7 minutes. We're live at FAU Field of 68 tip-off. It was the first game of the inaugural year of this event. We're going to be answering your questions. Fire them away in the YouTube chat here on Stadium. Goodman, I'm going to you first on this one. It is ironically from somebody named Jeff. Thoughts on USC now that Bronny has been cleared to play? And do you know anything about this situation beyond just the statement that's been put out by the family?
No, I mean that's all there is at this point. Is he's been cleared and he's going to play soon. And I guess LeBron, I didn't see it, is going to prioritize watching Bronny's debut over any game that he'll play with the Lakers, which I give him credit for, man. Like, as a father, like, that's kind of cool.
Do you think that's going to be a thing? Like, do you think that people are going to be like, he should be playing? Like, we have all these rules about.
I mean, only because the Lakers right now are like 500-ish, a little bit over 500, and God forbid it get in the way of the in-season irrelevant tournament. But anyway. What was the question? Bronny. Yes, I got
Bronny.
you. So, listen, realistic expectations for Bronny James, even before all this, was probably that Bronny James would come off the bench with a lineup of Boogie Ellis, who's a fifth-year senior, Isaiah Collier, who's the #1 freshman in the country, and Kobe Johnson, who's an elite defender on the perimeter.
He's going to be a top 40 pick in the draft.
And Bronny James would probably end up averaging 7 points a game and play 18 minutes a game. That's my guess, somewhere around there. Now, after all this, the heart issue and obviously not being able to do certain things, practice, I don't even know what his limitations were beyond that exactly. He's behind. Obviously, he's behind. So I think you're looking at a guy who's going to play a role. And the only, again, I don't even want to say it, but in a way, the only positive, if there's any positive that comes from this, which again, you just want him to be healthy and be okay.
It takes the pressure off him.
It takes the pressure
He's
off.
LeBron. It's LeBron's
and there's
kid.
no race to get him, hopefully, to the NBA, which is always, there was always a problem in my mind. It's like, I know you want to play with him. I know, I get it. You want to play with him, but why put him in a spot where he's not ready and push him along to the NBA after a year when, frankly, I don't think he's a one and done, or even maybe a two and done, or maybe even a NBA player at this point. So now it's hopefully just let him run his course now. Let him get healthy.
Have either of you guys dealt with coaching a player that's gone through something similar to what Bronny's gone through? You have?
Yeah, I had a player at UMass that didn't collapse, but we took him on a transfer and never got to play because he had an EKG, and thank God that he was able to live his life and live a healthy life, and went through that process of had an issue with his heart and never got to play. Never had anybody collapse like that, and I can't even imagine dealing with that. I mean, I had a guy dislocate his ankle. That was gruesome enough. Never had that, but I did have a player that missed his senior year, essentially. Took him on a transfer and never got to play a second because had a heart issue.
Yeah, fortunately, never had a situation where somebody had to sit out because of a heart issue. And both schools I was at were they were very preventative in terms of getting the cardiac testing done prior to. So we never had any red flags, and just very fortunate.
How would you go about handling that? Is that just something where it's like, put it off on the doctors, you tell me what I'm allowed to do, you tell me how hard I'm allowed to push him, you
Well,
tell
what if
me
he's
what's
clear?
Yeah, I think
What if
it'd
he's
be-
clear to go?
I think it's got to be collaborative, between the coaching staff, the family, obviously, most importantly,
No question.
and then the doctors. And I think as a coach, you just sort of take a step back and listen to the family and listen to the doctors. And I think they'll be the ones that really guide the decision, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And, if he's cleared and they feel like, hey, he's not at risk, then I think you put him in, depending on, how productive he is and what you think he can do to help the team.
I think I can speak for everybody here when I say that we're all happy to see him healthy.
The
happy
kid's
to
a
see
great
him
kid to
coming
watch
back.
play, too. Like, he plays the right way. He's a really good player. But, again, I just go back to it. I don't think he's a one and done.
All right, 2 more questions for you guys. First and foremost, what did you guys order for dinner tonight? Quick, good.
I had
Tell them what you ordered.
boneless
How many did you order?
25.
25
But I only
boneless
ate.
wings.
How many did I eat, Dagan?
Yeah.
Check. That's what I'm saying. I
He
probably
ate
only
25
had
is
10.
an aggressive
them.
one.
I bet I
What'd you
only
have for
ate 10.
dinner?
I had a chicken salad.
Shrimp Cobb salad, and then I had nachos for dessert.
Those nachos were good.
They were
Those
good.
nachos were real good. Dagan made us bring him a chicken quesadilla. Which
What did you have, Fat Boy?
I had a turkey club sandwich with a side salad. Yeah, I'm healthy over here. All right, last question I got for you. This is a gambling question. We have a line set over at BetMGM right now. Our partners over at BetMGM. Over under 4 ibuprofen a day that Dagan's got to take while on this trip. It's way over.
It's got to be over.
Carrying all this equipment?
For me, it's over under on how much time they're going to spend on the beach holding hands.
Oh, God, here we go. Listen, this has been the Field of 68's last call on Stadium. Rob Doster, Chris Mack, Coach Matt McCall. We don't talk about that guy anymore. For producer Dagan, we appreciate you guys being here. We're here every night during the week, midnight to 12.